Hey everyone, Redneckbryon here. Quick tip on building racing mowers. As you can see, I got my Green Craftsman racer up on its side, and this tip involves pulleys and the belts. Primarily extra idler pulleys that you may add beyond the stock pulleys on your tractor. This is a Craftsman based tractor, so it has what they call a figure 8 or double pulley already on it. This one right here and this one right here are the stock pulleys, or stock location at least. They're not the stock pulleys. And this one here is an added pulley, and this one here is also an added pulley, just to give a little bit extra tension on the system, because this is a modified system. I got a smaller pulley in back and a much larger pulley in front. But with this pulley up front, mainly this video is to talk about getting your pulleys dead on correct, so you don't wear out belts, or you don't prematurely wear out belts. You might spend a lot of time doing this, and you might be kicking yourself in the butt. You might burn through a few belts, but hopefully you see this video first. What I've learned from basically trial and error and a few bad mistakes, get your pulleys lined up correctly before you go with a really good belt, like a Kevlar belt here. This is a $30 belt. It's a really good quality belt. Get everything perfect. Spend the time, get everything lined up correctly. Do some slow runs first. And if your system's not working, don't beat the shit out of it. Just go home, readjust it, get everything perfect, and then beat the snot out of it. Also, up here, get your pulley as close to the middle of the belt as possible. As you can see, you got a little bit of space at the top, a little bit of space at the bottom, a little more on the bottom, but I can't really go up much higher with this pulley. It won't really work out, but it's not rubbing on the edges. The edges right there, there is room. I can actually slide the pulley, or I can slide the belt up there, and there is room. There is a little bit of play on the top. Same with this one here. This one here is actually serving double duty. It's keeping the belt in line from here, because it's a straight run from the front to here, and from here it actually angles upwards to my rear pulley. Not by much. I was actually able to get this lined up pretty close by adjusting my rear pulley, and but this one here helps because it's reasonably close at the bottom on this bottom edge, and it's reasonably close on the top edge. So it really only goes up about barely even a quarter of an inch. That's how close it is. This thing is really dialed in pretty tight here. So get these tight, get these really as close as possible to being dead on perfect. Like using washers, using really long bolts, and double nutting it, put a nut at the top, and then using your washers to figure out right where you need it. Guide pins, also use your guide pins. Make them out of long bolts, all thread, or I'm using bolts with a little bit of a sleeve at the top, like this. So this basically, the belt will slide right here, and then you got your threads at the bottom, because your threads are not your friend with a belt. Threads will damage your belt, and they're not fun to deal with, and having to deal with a scorched belt or a burned up belt. But I have done a run with this already. This is just some dirt on the belt. As you can see, there is no wear. I have adjusted the system since I did my last run, and so far it seems to be better actually having it like this now. But I can adjust this. You will drill a lot of holes, remember that. And then go back in and fill in your holes if you need to, but leave a few holes, because you never know if you need to adjust your belt or adjust your idler pulleys in the future. I may have to take this here and move it back here where there's more tension if the belt stretches. So basically, if these machines, they're all pretty much always going to be tinkering on them, unless you get them dead on perfect or you're running a chain drive. But on a racer, I don't think you can really run a chain drive. So even with chains, they stretch. But that's my quick tip, a little bit longer than a quick tip. But remember, get your pulleys dead on correct, get the belt right in the center of your pulley, so you do not prematurely wear out your pulleys, wear out your belts, wear out the bearings, and you'll have a good day. So I'll talk to you later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment.